Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Women's Carball Championship, Season 2, Week 2. We just watched Normandy Pink continue their hot streak to start the season. And now we have the Venus Vixens up against the Sakura Blues in what should be quite a good match. We're going to be playing, of course, on an EU server. We have two EU teams, and that ping difference from playing between EU and NA, of course, one of those things that we like to watch throughout the season. But, it's nice when you get two teams that are both same region, so the ping really isn't an issue.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we saw some of the matches last week where I think we had someone playing on a very balked internet connection and a half. Yeah. So yeah, it'll be nice to have just both teams operating in the same region. So no excuses, no lag disputes. This should be all good, clean fun.
Well, before we get started, I am Hunted. I'm going to be filling in for Sleegy today, so I'll be, I guess, double duty. Got host and casting going, and of course, Tamashi, thank you for joining me for this one. So, going to be an exciting matchup. Again, we've got two teams, a little bit different situations. Sakura Blues, they came off a victory against Sammy Smiles in week 1. It was a pretty close 3-1 decision. The Venus Vixens getting taken down by Sway Frost, so they're looking to try to turn their season around early on in week 2. I mean, how do you think that this is going to go just based off of results and what we saw from the teams last week?
Honestly, I think it still could be a very close match. I mean, yes, Venus Vixens lost, but it was still a hard fought match. They certainly weren't giving away that much as you'd think. Sometimes it's like when you lose, it might be like one-sided, but sometimes that end score doesn't always match how the actual set plays out. So I think it still could be a really close match. This could potentially have a match 4 on the cards.
Certainly. I mean, I could even see this one going to all 5 if both teams show up to play the way that we've seen them play in the past. And again, I think, the Venus Vixens, not the start that they were really hoping for to the season. I mean, they're one of those teams that we even talked about last week and in the qualifier, a squad that has the potential to shake up what most consider the top 3, in that they could sneak into one of those spots. And of course, it's the top 4 who make it into the playoffs, so even more room for them to work with. But I think it's going to have to be, it's going to have to start here. Like we have got to see a victory for Venus Vixens here against the Sakura Blues to give them that confidence.
All right. So yeah, it really is the case of, yes, they lost in the first week, but they're not going to let that deter them. Like, they know they can take it to them. And, as it stands, it's 6th versus 4th. Anything can still absolutely happen from here.
And of course, this being an early game on the schedule, we've got 7 total weeks. So, I mean, 5 more matchups to go after this one, or at least 5 more weeks anyway, as we're just going to have to see if the Venus Vixens can turn around. And I mean, again, you take a look at the lineup, you've got some experience there as well in Ducks and Rose, with the addition of Pads as well, who, to her credit, played pretty well last week, all things considered. Again, I feel like this is a team, once they get rolling, and they can do that here against the Sakura Blues, once they get rolling, they can be a scary force in the league.
Oh, absolutely.
We are going to get this matchup underway. We apologize for the delay, just a couple of server issues. We'll have that sorted out here in a moment to get this best of 5 started. But we've talked about the Venus Vixens. Let's take a look at the other side of the pitch. Starlight, Crimson, and Caro had a pretty good outing against Sammy Smiles, which you just watched against the Normandy Pink. And, it's no wonder that the Sakura Blues played Sammy Smiles as close as they did, considering the matchup that we just watched. I mean, it was a close match between Normandy Pink and Sammy Smiles, and the Sakura Blues, I think we consider to be on that same kind of level. And now we get to see how the Venus Vixens slot into it. I'm looking for those standout performances. Nido Queen, if she's watching, I'm going to call her out here. She said that Crimson could be that MVP. Does she come out and shine here in this series?
Potentially, yes. I mean, obviously, Rocket League is still very much a team-based game, but there's always those standout players. And you're looking at how this is playing out. Starlight with Starlight, obviously, the top goal scorer on the team. And obviously, we've got the most saves on that team as well. So, honestly, yeah, this could be that moment to shine. But the thing is to not get too carried away. It is still very much a team game. That communication is key. And as we saw in that last set, triple committing and leaving the goal open, as long as nobody does that, I think they'll be absolutely fine.
Well, both teams certainly goal scorers' dreams, if you will. They are two high-powered offenses. Though we've seen again with the Sakura Blues that they know how to play defense. I think the Venus Vixens can really show us some strong defense as well. And you take a look at the stats. And the stats, I mean, they explain that as well. Sakura Blues, again, we talked about how many saves Sammy Smiles had last week. 21 against the Sakura Blues, but only 2 saves behind them were the Sakura Blues with 19 in a match that they won, mind you. They won that 3-1, and they still had to make 19 saves.
Yeah, that just goes to show how close that match was. It's like you can always say like, oh, the score tells you everything, but it really doesn't. Like the stats right after the fact will tell you how hard working both teams were just to keep that ball out of the goal. And for Sakura Blues, they probably know that Venus Vixens are going to be near that level as well. So it's probably going to be another intense match in that regard. So we might see that number shoot up again.
Well, I'm certainly looking forward to it. Again, we're going to have this matchup underway as soon as everybody gets in the server and is ready to go. But just taking a look ahead, we want to make sure that you stick around as we've got 2 more matchups after this one. Sway Frost versus Not Vanilla. Again, Sway Frost trying to keep their good start going, and then Queen Cobras taking on the Kaunos Ladies to round us out for the matchup. So a lot of 1-0 teams against 0-1 teams today, and will we see a quote-unquote upset? I don't know. I think this one, again, I mentioned it at the start. I think this is probably the closest matchup we've got all day today. But that said, we have seen some crazy stuff happen in the WCBC and Rocket League as a whole that I really don't think you can give anybody a series victory just looking at the schedule today.
Oh, I think so as well. I mean, obviously, we've seen how how dominant certain teams are. I think we all know which ones they are without having to mention them. But you know, we had like the dominant sweeps last week, and I think a lot of people have learned from them. So it's like, yes, they might still end up losing, but it's going to be a lot closer than I think the first week would have shown us.
I certainly agree, and I think that last series kind of set the tone for what we can expect today. As again, we apologize for the delay. We want to get this matchup rocking and rolling as soon as possible. We'll take a look at the teams here, as it looks like it is Ducks, Pads, and Rose for the Venus Vixens, and Starlight, Crimson, and Caro. So no change-ups for either of the 2 squads, as we have full rosters today. I think the players, though, are here and ready to go.
I just waited for the
and
just waiting for that all-important buzzer.
There we go. We are underway. Right. Let's get it started.
There we go. Everyone's loading up. Sakura Blues naturally have to be in the blues. It would be hearsay if they weren't in the blue. And we are going in our first match. And already... Oh, no, go on.
I was just going to say, I think this start is super important for either team, and that is not how you want to start if you are the Sakura Blues. A quick goal downfield. Venus Vixens on the board.
Yeah, that was a very strange start. It's like Starlight just immediately parked because they knew they were not going to get to that in time. And yeah, just a quick bounce in 10 seconds. And, well, we know exactly what Venus Vixens is going to be up to throughout this match.
Well, again, I mean, you talk about how close these two teams are, and that one goal can really set the tone. Though I don't think the Sakura Blues are really going to let that affect them too much. I'd imagine we'll see some offensive from them, but they can't get behind early as Rose is going to take a shot just high.
Just above the crossbar. They'll be breathing a sigh of relief, but they know if the Vixens are coming at them with this much tenacity already in the first 30 seconds, they're in for a very long match, and they have to do the hard work from here. They have to score that equalizer first if they want to have a chance, and that demo is not going to help them. Rose going to punt up into the ceiling. That's going to be back onto their side there, but they'll quickly clear only as far as Caro, though. Going to keep it alive. This is very awkward times here, and they're pushing for this equalizer. Ducks goes up high, sends it right back into the left corner. Want to see Crimson come out. Just running up the wall. They've got max boost. They'll flick it a little bit, but unfortunately they'll get it intercepted yet again, and it stays in their corner. So this will be a good chance just above the crossbar, but another demo robs them of their attacker. Gives Rose a chance to set up, and this could be another quick score. No! Caro the save, and another amazing save by Crimson.
Beautifully played on the goal line by the Sakura Blues, and while their transition didn't work, you have to think that it's a good sign if you're a fan of the Blues side. I think it was Starlight with the redirect, nearly worked out, but you love to see them get down quick and try to punish the Venus Vixens for overcommitting on offense.
Yeah, certainly an overcommitment and a half. Pat's going to be back up there, but Crimson will only fling it as far as Ducks. This is still a very dangerous ball, and kind of inadvertently set this up for Vixens, but it is going to go to the corner again. Pads will keep it alive. Where is that dropping as far as Crimson? So another good crucial save from them. Rose sends it up high, just lingers on the back, probably going to charge up a little boost or two. Pads will dribble it towards the goal. Starlight comes in for the intercept, but that is high. Caro gets a tip. Well, Rose hit it, not quite. But now they'll get it, but this should be stopped by Starlight, and is done so.
And you take a look at the shot counter. Sakura Blues with nothing on the board. They've had opportunities. They've had a couple of good offensive rotations, and Starlight's going to have to make a save, just barely able to get in front of that one. But we need to see some more offensive production from the Sakura Blues. They're just getting hemmed in their own zone right now by the orange side.
Yeah, it's all well and good clocking up the saves, but it doesn't mean anything if you can't get any kind of attacks of your own. It does finally go into Vixen's territory, but Caro is not going to get to that in time, and I think Crimson got a slight touch to it, but it's going to actually inadvertently set themselves up for another defensive play, and Starlight has to try and do everything to keep that ball out, but it's not going to happen either. And a demo on Crimson.
Certainly the physical play showing early, and it's worked for Venus Vixens. They've only got the one goal, but again, they've held the Sakura Blues to no shots with 90 seconds left to go in this game. That's not something you expect to see from the high-powered offense.
No, not at all. And this is, again, dangerously close to their own goal again. Pads quickly backing up, ready to rotate back on the off chance it does come their way. Caro will only hit it as far as Crimson. Crimson actually got the demo this time around, but it's still going to set themselves up for another counter play.
And this time it's Starlight in the corner. If you look, she missed the boost the first time, had to go back for it, and that put her just a bit too far to try to make that play, and Ducks picks her spot beautifully. A 2-0 lead for Venus Vixens with 70 seconds left to go. No offensive production from the Sakura Blues. This is a tall order to see if they can try to come back and force overtime.
Yeah, we'll see if they can. Crimson goes for the ball, but again, just can't seem to meet it at the moment. It's just all Vixen. Starlight will send it towards goal, but it'll be easily cleared away by Rose. Ducks will get a touch, send it back into the blue corner. It's not where they want it to be. And with 45 seconds on the clock, it's starting to look like the first round is going to start slipping away from Blues. They're not giving up without a fight. Pads does get a crucial intercept on that save. Again, not going to quite fall well to them again, and it's straight back into the Blues corner. Only just kept out of goal this time around, and Crimson clears it away downfield.
Well, Caro might have a chance. They needed that one, I think. That needed to be a goal from the Sakura Blues. They had an opening. They can't knock it home, and now the time going to tick away. And what a start from the Venus Vixens. I mean, we talked about just how good the defense was from the Sakura Blues, how well they played last week, but it doesn't seem to matter for the orange side. They will dominate game number 1, and certainly the shot totals, I believe, before we get to take a look, yeah, it's 9 shots to just the 1 in favor of the Venus Vixens. And we've talked about the Sakura Blues and being one of those teams that can be slow to start in a series, but it's scary right now. You do not want a repeat performance of this in game 2.
No, you don't. not in the slightest. You had Ducks and Rose both with 4 shots, and obviously Ducks scoring the 2 goals. I mean, it's always hard going a goal down in the first 10 seconds, and when it stays like that for such a long time, you always feel that it starts to play into Venus's hands more and more, and they were easily the more aggressive side. Like, the saves are great, but if you can't get out your own half and you can't find a way of being able to attack and keep the ball in the Venus half, you're never going to be able to set up for that all-important equalizer, let alone take the lead.
And honestly, I'd like to see the Sakura Blues take a page out of the Venus Vixens book. I think they go for a little bit more physical play, go for those demos, just try to get the orange rotation off balance, and you can start to force yourself on the offensive side, as this is going to be a good start. Starlight can't find that by pads. That was a beautiful chance, but a good save for the Venus Vixens to start the game.
Yeah, you kind of always need those balls to go in early because you never know how quickly the counterplay will come. And already Vixens are just quickly trying to threaten for an initiative of their own. But it hurts so much when you just see the ball just bounce harmlessly off the post. It is going to go above the crossbar, and again, just wide off the corner. Vixens are getting a little bit lucky here, a little bit fortunate. These balls are just about hitting the bar and not quite landing in the net. Rose will get a little bit of a bump. That's going to be quite awkward here. And there you go. Starlight gets the goal.
Unbelievable. The team chemistry right now. Caro to Crimson, knowing exactly where Starlight was. And all she has to do is send that one home. The first of the series for the Sakura Blues. And it comes at a perfect time, giving them the lead before the first minute is up.
Yeah, that's exactly what they needed. It now puts the Vixens into the same spot that the Blues were in the previous points, and they are really taking the page out of the Vixens book. They are really attacking a lot more in this game, and already setting up, just cleared off the line, but that's coming straight back in. It's off the crossbar. Oh, you hate to see it. Can Starlight convert it? No, just wide.
My goodness, it should be a 2-0 game for the Sakura Blues, but that's Rocket League sometimes. Just can't quite find the touch, but you've got to be happy with the way that they've played. If you're a Sakura Blues fan, absolutely coming out in game 2 and just punching the Venus Vixens in the face to start this one.
Yep, that ball is going to be very awkward, and the save couldn't happen.
Well, hey, I mean, it's a fight. There's going to be punches back and forth. I think Starlight's going to want this one back, though. That's a bit unfortunate. Couldn't quite find the touch. And just like that, the Venus Vixens equalize. And, you know, I hate to say it, Tamashi, but that's the second soft goal we've seen the Sakura Blues give up in 2 games.
Yeah, it's those kind of marches, those kind of small little mistakes that could just take it away from you. They're still very much alive in this game, and they're immediately going to slap back with a very quick goal from Caro.
An important response from the blue side. Rose not going to be able to make the touch, and Caro just in a great position. But that's exactly the kind of response you want to see from a team that needs to find this win here in game 2.
Absolutely. That kickoff is not going to go Blues' way. Unfortunately, that's going to give Ducks a quick little chance to have a go as well. Only going to go as far as the upper corner, however. So we'll see if Blues can maintain this, but now they're going to have to do some of those more crucial saves that we've been seeing them do in the previous point. Ducks going to try and dribble this all the way to the left side, the right-hand side even. Going to try and quickly pass that again, but Caro should be able to clear it. Only as far as Rose, though. And that's a little awkward for Crimson. Thankfully, the teammate were behind. This is still a very, very dangerous ball. The Blues gotta clear this. Crimson just bounces it off the back wall. Kind of had to. That's gonna be crucially saved by Crimson.
Can't get it out, though. This is dangerous. They got to play some defense, but the challenges are just too good right now from the Venus Vixens.
Yep, it is finally into the orange half, though. Rose is going to guide that to the corner. They need to take the aerial superiority here. Chases it down. It does get intercepted a little bit, but again, Vixens are quick to come straight back onto the attack. Crimson keeps the ball in the air for the most part. And now finally brings it down, dribbles it past one. They're going to try and set this up. Will anybody come in? It'll be Carter who goes for it. A little too high for them, though.
But I really like what the Venus Vixens are doing right now. They haven't been able to find the equalizer, but their challenges have been unbelievable on both sides of the ball. They have not given the Sakura Blues any kind of breathing room when it comes to any form of challenges. They've lost maybe one or two of the past 15 or so challenges, and it shows. They're getting the offense. Now they just need to turn it into a goal.
Yep, they've got 90 seconds to do so. That's going to bounce very awkwardly for the Blues. Slight little touch. Crimson goes in backwards to try and clear that. Just about works out. Intercepted by Pad. Starlight will send it straight into the air. It's going to still remain in the blue side. This is going to be a very nervy minute or so that's about to come up for them. Can they hold on to this 1-goal lead?
That's a good pass, though. And again, you can see the Venus Vixens just trying to methodically enter the zone. They're not over-aggressing, which is exactly what they need to do, because we know the Sakura Blues are going to punish them if they find the angle, though Crimson might just do it there just wide. But again, outside of that, the attack has been so good. The equalizer will finally come, and the Venus Vixens tying things up with 44 to go.
It was a very long ball all the way from the corner, guided beautifully by Rose straight into Ducks. It's just the merest of taps, and no one was there in time to save it. So with 45 seconds on the clock, it's 2-2.
I love that the patience pays off for the Venus Vixens.
And look at this, Blues straight back on the offensive, trying to get that ball straight back in. They want to restore that 1-goal lead, but Pads will make sure that that will not happen just yet. Caro guiding it all the way back towards the post. 30 seconds left on the clock. This is do or die. Yes, overtime could still happen, but you want to score the goal now, and they do so!
Oh my, it's Caro again. Will she be the hero of this one? Rose wanting that one back, I'm sure, doesn't get the power on it. And the defense crumbles for the Venus Vixens. What a response yet again from the Sakura Blues. Now they just need to hold on.
Yeah, at this point, you just need to play as defensive as possible. Starlight's going for a second goal. They're not happy with a 1-goal cushion. They know that there's still every possibility that Vixens could still yet score another equalizer. Starlight will boot it all the way down. Crucial save, but where is that ball going to drop? It's going to be very awkward to keep this ball alive, and I don't think they're going to do so. Starlight nearly scores a last-second goal, but it will remain 3-2 in favor of the Blues.
Starlight just not wanting to pad the stats there, wants, I suppose, all of the goals to be earned, but either way, a victory for the Sakura Blues, and I can't say that it was a comfortable one for them. It was certainly the Venus Vixens who played the better second half of that game. We saw them controlling the pace of play, controlling possession. They get that equalizer, but it's just the strength and the resolve of the Sakura Blues that get them through this game. Game 3 upcoming, tied 1-1. It's going to be a really interesting one, especially with how back and forth this game 2 was.
It really will be, and especially when you consider the fact that every time the Vixens managed to get the equalizer, the Blues were so quick with their immediate kickoff. It's like they went for the goal immediately, and I'm stunned that they got it most of the times they went for that.
Honestly, I was extremely surprised. I thought when that equalizing goal went in for the Venus Vixens, I thought, okay, we're going into game 3 with the orange side up 2 games. I thought the Sakura Blues had been broken at that point, but again, it's the resolve. They did not give up. They knew the game was tied. They knew if they had a good kickoff, they could get back on the offensive side, and that's exactly what they did. They take the game, and it's all that they needed. That one response was all that they needed, and I mean, good on them for holding the Venus Vixens back for as long as they did.
Yeah, and I'm surprised they didn't especially in the last 20 seconds when you've finally just retaken that lead yet again, and there's only like 20 odd seconds on the clock. They didn't play defensively. They went looking for another goal. Like, that's incredibly brave to do so. And I think that actually caught Vixens by surprise because they probably thought they were going to try and play that part defensively. So it's like, oh no, they actually want a second goal. They want to shut this to bed. And credit where credit's due, it does mean that if it keeps on like this, I think you're right. I think we could go to a match 5.
I'm telling you, this again, I'm going to sound like a broken record, Tamashi, but this matchup, one of the closest ones we're going to see today, I think the matchup to watch, but at the same time, one of the most important ones for either side because of the implications moving forward. If the Venus Vixens take down the Sakura Blues here, it shakes up all of what we know to be, or all of what we consider to be the top 3, right? It's all of a sudden kind of puts that in doubt and makes the rest of the season a little bit more open. But that said, the Sakura Blues, like I mentioned, a team that is slow to start sometimes. And I think we saw that in game 1. They've picked it up and they're ready to fight now here in game 3.
Oh, absolutely. It's like you saw the pace that they were going at. They went looking for that early goal straight away, and they didn't go away. They didn't play the defensive game whatsoever. They were just like, okay, we're letting a goal. We immediately push. We're gonna keep pushing. Like, they're known for their defense, and I think that's what they're trying to play against. Like, they know that the teams are going to come into this going, hey, we played so defensively in the last one. We were coming up with save after save after save. You're expecting us to do this again. We're going to turn this on its head.
Well, let's get into game 3, Tamashi, as the server issues taken care of. Both teams happy with this one. I can't wait to see how this is going to start, as Ducks will get an early shot. 2 saves early on for the Sakura Blues. But we'll see. I mean, this first goal going to be so important here in game 3.
It is. It feels like the longer the clock goes on, it's going to be... Well, both of the matches so far have had a goal in the first minute, and that's decided which way the game has swung. Another good save from Pads, but so far, the defense from Vixens are really showing. Good couple of crucial saves, sent it straight back into the blue territory, but only just off the post.
And Caro thinking her lucky stars right there. A massive giveaway, but the double commit, that's going to get punished. Ducks realizing she scored from midfield, and the Venus Vixens take the lead.
Yep. And there you go, with 51 seconds on the clock, they do score in the first minute. Nice little tip from Ducks, realized that no one was there to save that, and just scuttles on by on the top of their car. 1-0 to Vixens.
And it's a good start. We saw this start in game 1. They had a pretty easy victory from there. Can they do it again? I don't think the Sakura Blues will make it as easy, but I mean, it's a good start either way.
It certainly is. They were shaping up to try and go for that second goal. The ball was just in the air for such a long time, but nobody wanted to hit it. Starlight trying to challenge for the attack. Pats will get a snip onto it, but Cutter will keep it alive. Ducks will send it probably into Starlight. Nope, it becomes a new intercept, and that ball is very awkward, all the way to the right-hand side. Kato goes for the boost, going to try and chase that in the air. Who's going to go for that? Oh, is that in? Oh, it's up the crossbar, and the follow-up missed.
Man, Cara trying to do it all herself, just off the post, and the post actually a little bit unfavorable there for Starlight. She tried to read it, and I thought she had a good read, unable to make it work, but what a passing play nearly on the other side, but the post comes up big again.
The post is being MVP on both sides of the field at the moment, and Paz with a crucial touch that stopped Starlight from scoring an equalizer of their own. Crimson will keep it alive. Cutter just goes above them. That ball is very awkward. Nobody is back for the Blues, and Cutter gets there just in the nick of time. Have to throw themselves in there to kind of stop any kind of momentum that Vixens were coming in with. Ball is high. Ducks will likely chase this. Cutter intercepts it, gets there before Rose does. So it's up to Pads with the all-important poke, and Crimson should save this. Does so. Pads can't get the follow-up.
Oh, but Ducks will. Banger from Ducks.
Yeah, right place, right time for Ducks. Saw where it was coming down, boosting in. Nice little tap. And unfortunately, Kato was not going to get to that in time. And that is a 2-goal lead as we approach the halfway mark.
And I really like the patience that Crimson had to play that ball on the back wall. It's just unfortunate she got challenged as well as she did, and the ball found Ducks on the on the bounce down, but you know, it's the tenacity from the Venus Vixens that have given them this 2-goal lead, and now the Sakura Blues in a tough spot.
Exactly. Blues are gonna come immediately back though. Very quick counter, and you saw how high that pass was. That was amazing from Starlight.
And this is the danger of the Sakura Blues. We saw it in the last game. We see it again here. All 3 players getting involved. This time it's Starlight to find the assist to Caro. But that play starts with Crimson identifying the passing options, finding Starlight with a beauty of a pass, and they just finish it off.
And that might be another goal. Oh my goodness me. Pads just got there in the nick of time. That was nearly an equalizer straight off the get-go. That would have been an amazing 2 goals in succession for the Blues if they'd have done that, but it stays 2-1 for the time being. It's going to get punted straight back away. I think Rose just about gets a touch on that, but that is an awkward ball. Will fall to Caro, keeps it in the orange half, and Ducks will try and rally that back, but that is not what they wanted. Starlight hits the back ball, can't get the follow-up. Can Caro go for this one? Does so. Gonna quite get the setup there what they were looking for, and Rose does enough to put Caro off.
The Sakura Blues very aggressive now. A couple of challenges that are actually going to put them on the back foot for the moment, but a good play from Starlight, able to make that one work. But this actually could be, if they can get this play to work. Rose, the last one back, solid save. And you talk about transition plays, both teams with some good ones.
Yeah, absolutely. And Crimson tries to set up Starlight, but Starlight just went to the right side of the ball. Rose was very fortunate that she was grounded there, otherwise any kind of height on that would have meant that ball was going right underneath her. And with 1 minute on the clock, Blues are not giving this up easily, but just about intercepted that ball away from goal line. And Pads with a very awkward shunt there, it must be said. And this is going to set up just across the crossbar again, and nobody got a hit on that.
Crimson was flashing across the top of the goal, looking for a redirect, and if she would have hit it, there was nothing the defense could do, but it's a 2-on-1 now, but the ball given away, time given to Ducks, and she makes the play.
Yeah. Rose tries to clear it again. Starlight will get this, but Pat immediately goes in to intercept. Carter actually sends it past Ducks. This is going to be very dangerous for the Vixens here, because they know that the Blues will have to attack this, especially with 10 seconds left on the clock. And away it goes. I don't think they'll be able to do anything about it now. With 3 seconds on the clock, Crimson knows they have to keep this in the air. It doesn't end until the ball hits the ground. Crimson, it tries desperately to keep this alive. It's in that corner area. Rose just needs to pull it towards the ground. I don't think Starlight will get there in time. She actually does so, but it bounds the wrong way and finally hits the floor.
And it's a 1-goal decided game, and you got to imagine that early goal, again, the catalyst for the Venus Vixens to take the win here. The Sakura Blues played a hard and fast game in that second half. You take a look at the shots, 9 for the Sakura Blues to, 6 of the Venus Vixens.
Yeah.
And again, it's just that early pressure that gets put on the Sakura Blues. And it honestly, it felt like if your average Rocket League game was 7 minutes instead of 5 minutes, we probably were tied heading into overtime at some point. But since it's only 5 minutes, the Sakura Blues, they just can't make it work, and the Venus Vixens hang on.
Yeah, especially when you look at Starlight. So like it's 6 shots, and you see the amount of saves coming out from Vixens as well. It was like 4 for one of them. It was just everything that Blues tried to do was just met beautifully by the Vixens. And going into match 4, I mean, it's still anyone's game, but that advantage is starting to finally swing towards Vixens.
Well, they've got the 2-1 series lead, and now all of the pressure, all of the weight of the series squarely resting on the Sakura Blues to take this one. We call it a potential Game 5, and now we have that opportunity if the Sakura Blues can come back and take this one.
We will soon find out. Rose immediately going all the way forward. Pat in the goal, pretty much. Sends that forward a little bit, but it's a bit of an awkward little hit. It sets up Caro, who goes for the commitment. It's going to find themselves punted into the right corner, but Starlight with a follow-up. Crucial save from Pat, and could not get the follow-up either. Very fast start yet again to these matches. Ducks sends it back to Rose. I think that'll go as far as Starlight, so it depends on if that goes towards the middle again. Pat immediately rolls for it. Caro should be able to save, does so.
This is a quick start from either side. A couple of early chances, but good defensive positioning. Able to shut them down, specifically Ducks. I'd like to highlight her play early there. I mean, she was just in a great spot to clear it away, and even she turned it into an offensive drive with just some solo play in the corner. But again, no score, minute gone, and this first goal going to be important.
It certainly is. It's the first time we've actually gone past the minute mark and no one has scored yet. This will set up Crimson. Bounces just off the post. Rose deflected it there beautifully. Anywhere else, and that would have probably been the net. Crimson keeping that attack going off the backboard. Demos pads. Where's this ball going to land? Just above the crossbar again. And this is coming in from Starlight, and that's saved as well by Rose.
Man, Caro had a wide open goal to shoot at too, and she just pushed it high. Crimson, the heads up play to get the shot for the rebound, but then the demo immediately after. I'm sure Caro's going to want that back, but you can't think about it now. You've got to try to find this first of the game. They're pressing again.
It just feels like at this rate it could end up being a big stalemate, but that's just going to hit the post. It rebounds off awkwardly. Rose will hate the fact that that was just a little bit wide. Just millimeters are the difference sometimes between the goal and the post being your worst enemy.
It's a game of inches, certainly.
Caro gets demoed. That ball is going awkwardly long, and Ducks had to make sure that Crimson could not get anything on that. Starlight tries to keep it alive, but it's going to go back to Caro. Let's see what they can do up there. They actually do outwin this, but surely, oh, that's got an awkward ball, but I don't think Blues will be able to score from it. Oh, that was a mid-air team shunt. That's a rarity these days.
Yeah, pulling out the advanced strats. And they need it to work. They need to make something happen here, as that's almost deflected in. My goodness, just off the bar. And Ducks still might get a chance, and she can't put that one home. But goodness, how is this game still scoreless?
I absolutely do not know. Well, I say that, but on the 2-minute mark exactly, Caro with an absolute long goal. I thought there was just going to be a clearance. Nah, top left corner, beautiful placement.
She sees her opportunity, loads up the rocket launcher and fires. What a shot from Caro. 1-0, 2 minutes to go, as you mentioned, and now it's the Venus Vixens to respond. Nearly an opportunity right off the kickoff.
Yeah. Well, so far, the team who scored first has gone on to win, so we'll see what Vixens could do. They need to throw the phone book right out the window, but Crimson keeps that in their own half, and Caro immediately pitches that down. They are looking for a 2-goal cushion, but not going to quite find it. So
what a back-and-forth series, my goodness.
And that's an open goal!
Unreal.
What else can you say? Crimson just dribbles it past a lot of them, and Rose, unfortunately, does not hit it. It's a 2-goal cushion with 90 seconds on the clock.
Goodness me. And Crimson, I mean, that goal is so important too. A 1-goal lead is great to have, but it doesn't feel nearly as good as a 2-goal lead with 90 seconds left, and Crimson doing it all herself there. Certainly giving her team some space, but they got to play defense still.
Yep, Caro crucially gets that. That was going to be on target, and Vixens know that they've got to go on the aggressive, especially now that we enter 1 minute to go. This ball is still very much dangerously in their own half.
Oh, good move there from Ducks, though. Almost made it work. The solo plays in this game have been coming out, as Paz is going to take the pass just off the post. Now Ducks, the rebound, Starlight. A beauty of a save, keeps it 2-0.
I love the fact that Vixens are getting so annoyed they just went straight in for the demo. It's like, okay, you all of us saved this enough. I'm taking you off the field. Ducks goes in for the intercept. 30 seconds left on the clock. Between Caro and Crimson, they're coming out with clutch save after clutch save. And Pad tries to put that back into the blue half, but they're immediately going to fling it straight back into the corner. You just feel like with 15 seconds left on the clock, this is looking like we're going to match number 5. But this ball is incredibly awkward. They need to get that out of there. Finally does hit it. So does Starlight. Crimson sends into the corner. This will be definitely going to game number 5.
Let's do it. I'm excited. I'm sure the players are excited. I hope the fans watching are also excited. What a series this has been. You talk about the Sakura Blues backs against the wall. Why not pitch a shutout in game 4? And it wasn't an easy one. Kara had to make 5 saves. Ducks with 6 shots. She's been dangerous all series, held to nothing there. And now, you want to give the momentum to the Sakura Blues heading to game 5, but I honestly can't. It feels like we're dead even heading into this final game.
It really does. They're both trading. Like each round, they're trading which side has the most shots on goal, which side has the most saves. The fact that Sakura Blues were able to get that 2-goal lead, like the first goal is great and all, but you always want to have a little bit more advantage because you know they can easily equalize. And Vixens, like you said, with Ducks with the 6 shots was just outrageous. Some of those goals, you just wondered in the first minute and a half, how in the world did none of those balls go in? But Blues got the fortune of it. And to be fair, shout out to Kato with the goal and a half in that match. I just thought it was going to be a clearance and it went straight into the top left corner beautifully.
Hey, sometimes you just got to take advantage of those situations. They pop up every now and then, and Caro up to the task. But I do want to mention, as we get into game 5, Ducks taking that full 60 seconds, potentially the Venus Vixens just talking it out, trying to formulate a strategy, and we'll see what they bring to the table here in game 5.
Yeah, match number 5. It's winner takes all at this point in time. And already it's going to start in Vixen's favor, immediately going on the aggressive. Pads will bounce it off into the corner. And it is finally going to get my Starlight and put it into the Vixen's half. But yeah, if you're Vixens, especially after a match like that, what do you say to calm yourself down?
I mean, honestly, if I'm the coach or if I'm a player on the Venus Vixens right there, I just say, let's get back to what we were doing. We had a good game 4. We just couldn't put anything in the back of the net. If we continue to fire shots, if we continue to put pressure, we're going to find what we're looking for. And they can't overreact, I think. That is the big thing. They just need to continue to play the way they have been.
Oh, that was an awkward little intercept between Starlight and Cardo. Crimson finally at least gets it somewhat away. But they're making sure that they keep the ball outside of their half for as long as possible. Although having said that, that was an awkward ball that fell 1 minute off the clock. And it's still goalless for the second time in the set.
Well, it's a 2-on-1 now. That was scary. Caro just making the play. But yeah, the Venus Vixens certainly taking control of this game early on, setting the tone early.
Absolutely, although this is a very dangerous ball. Nobody wants to go in the air for this one, and Starlight just guiding it for dear life, circles around it, but finally pops it into the right corner. Kara will not get there in time. Ducks will hit that, but with no boost, finally it just gets above the max boost in the right time. Crimson will save that. And, oh yeah, by the way, we're on Champions Field, so be prepared to hear what a save every now and then.
Hey, wouldn't have it any other way for this 5th game. A lot of amazing matchups have been played on this field, and I have a feeling we're about to see another one.
We certainly are. Thank you, guest game commentator. another save from Kara. Again, right place, right time. So between the pair of them, you'll hear it a lot, but not on that occasion.
Not on that occasion, indeed. And it's Pads to set it up, and that pass. It's actually rather sneaky. You don't think she's going to get the height she did on that play, and Caro just not ready for it. Can't get out there in time, and that's the Venus Vixens turning the aggression, turning the control into the first of the game.
It certainly is, and obviously so far in this set, whoever has scored first has gone on to win it, so Blues will know that, well, it doesn't mean everything, but it's certainly something that they want to nip in the butt as quickly as possible. Already back into that top corner. Crimson will wait for it, but it's immediately punted straight towards goal by Pads. They all have to immediately back rotate. And Starlight, this is awkward. My goodness, what a save.
Remember that if the Sakura Blues are able to tie this game up.
Oh, yeah, it's like Kathy Crimson hit that into the crossbar on the line and away. Gotta love how the ball bounces sometimes. Kara tries to keep the ball outside of that goal again as we approach 3 minutes played. Ducks on that back line immediately comes in to keep it on the Blues half, and they've been doing so well at this so far, and the demo will certainly help.
Oh, what a play. Oh, right onto Rose. Crimson trying to do everything herself again, and she's creating some opportunities, but they've got to get the aggression solidified. They're getting one and done chances, and now that one's just going to fall in. Nobody home, as the transition from the Venus Vixens just too fast. It's 2-0.
Yeah, it just kept hitting off the wall every single time, and Ducks went, yes, thank you very much. No one's getting to that in time. That is a 2-goal cushion with 1 minute and 40 seconds left on the clock.
And I'm telling you, it's been a good game from the Sakura Blues, but this is exactly how the Venus Vixens have beaten them in the past 2 games. Control and forcing them out of their own zone.
Absolutely, and Ducks immediately going to keep that pressure alive again. No one was able to hit that. Kato finally does. That ball was bouncing incredibly awkwardly. It is finally going to get hit back into the swing of things by Pads, but they need to try and find a way through this defense. They're just, every single time they're flinging up, they just can't seem to get anything going. The ball is finally lingering around that goal line, but it's already punted straight back to the halfway line. And before you know it, that's another aerial play. And Pat is going to be on hand to try and set this up and stall it out for as long as possible. 50 seconds left on the clock. And Blues need to find a goal ASAP. Otherwise, it's pretty much over. Never mind, no. It's over.
Just like that, it's a 3-goal lead. And again, I hate to sound like a broken record, but what a well-played game from the Venus Vixens. Absolutely dominating in possession time, winning every challenge they need to, and it is night and day from game 4 to game 5 for them. They have 100% controlled this matchup, given Crimson and company absolutely no time, no space to make any kind of plays, and it's why they're going to take this victory. And well played again to them to move to 1-1 here on the season and take down one of the top contenders.
Oh, absolutely. And it's like, unfortunately, sometimes that miscommunication can sometimes cost you. It's like you just saw the two of them just like not really able to get the ball cleared whatsoever. They were both just kind of stuck there. And with 10 seconds left on the clock, Vixens will just be looking to try and get a nice, good clean sheet. No goals conceded. 1 second on the clock. It will be 3, or will it be 4? It's 4 on the clock.
4 indeed. And we talked about the Sakura Blues blanking the Venus Vixens in game 4 to force this one. Well, a shutout in return, a 4-0 final score of game 5, and a statement, in my opinion, made by the Venus Vixens. They took it to them early in game 1. They didn't let off the gas pedal at all in that series, and what a clutch performance. I mean, unbelievable performance from the orange side, showing why they should be in the discussion for top 3 in the league.
Oh, yeah, I mean, again, you just see the shots. You see the stats right at the end. Rose and Ducks both with 4 shots apiece, and Pads with some absolutely crucial saves. They're flying at the moment. I mean, yes, Blues took them the whole distance, but Vixens never let up, and that was the most important part. They were able to find kinks in that defense, and they made it work.
And that's what you got to do against a team that can play the offense like the Sakura Blues can. You've got to find those opportunities, but at the same time, you have to limit the offense. And I think that was the biggest thing to take away from this series, is that the Venus Vixens knew how to shut down the high-powered offense that was the Sakura Blues.
Absolutely, but Blues will not be going away. They know that they'll have a lot of stuff to learn at this point, and they've won 1 and they've lost 1, so it's definitely not the end of the world with them. But the most important thing for Vixens is that they are now pretty much level on that same score sheet. So yeah, going forward, it's literally anyone's game. It's anyone's tournament, especially for top 4.
Well, I can't wait to see how it plays out, but I guess we're just going to go ahead and take a quick break because we've got 2 more matchups for you on the other side of that. Next up, Sway Frost and Not Vanilla. You're not going to want to miss it. Don't go anywhere.